Hello, I'm Jonasz Rewiński and you're watching Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Amid ongoing talks about possible peace plans, Russia continues its strike on Ukraine's civilian and energy infrastructure. Overnight, Moscow launched more than 140 drones across the country. In the Odessa region, the attack damaged residential buildings and a gas station complex. Several fires broke out but were quickly contained by emergency services. No casualties have been reported. Odessa has been under relentless Russian attacks for months now, with port and energy infrastructure hit particularly frequently. In the Dnipro region, 3 people were wounded and multiple fires erupted over Russian drone and artillery strikes on the city and the surrounding areas. Inside Russia, on the other hand, Ukrainian drones struck the city of Novokuybishevsk in the Samara region, reportedly targeting the local oil refinery owned by the company Rosneft. The same refinery had already been attacked on the 19th of October and on the 16th of November. Turning to the battlefield now, according to Ukrainian analysts, Russian military command prematurely reported the so-called liberation of the city of Kupiansk. In reality, Russian forces have dug in only in the northern and central parts of the city. For 2 weeks, they have been unable to push further south toward destroyed bridges over the Oskil River and are now being forced to defend as Ukrainian troops begin a west-to-east clearing operation inside the city. Further south, near Liman, analysts confirm Russian gains in Yampil, which Ukrainian troops have had to almost completely withdraw from. Russian forces have also reached the Siversky Donetsk River, complicating Ukrainian defensive efforts around the city of Siversk. Their progress has been aided not only by numerical and equipment advantages, but also by the wooded and marshy terrain, which is ideal for infiltration tactics. Now, moving on to West Africa. In Guinea-Bissau, just days after national elections, the military announced it had seized power. President Umaro Sissoko Embalo was ousted in what the army described as a response to an alleged plot to manipulate election results and destabilize the country. All political institutions, as well as the nation's sea, air and land borders, have been temporarily closed. According to local and international reports, including from DPA, gunfire was heard in the capital, Bissau, on Wednesday, the 26th of November. In the Liman area, Ukrainian pilots from the 3rd Army Corps have dealt one of the most painful blows to the Russians in recent weeks, destroying a TOS-1A multiple-launch rocket system. Moscow's forces used this system, capable of firing 220mm thermobaric ammunition, to break through defenses, destroy fortifications, and create scorched earth zones. A strike on a launcher like that doesn't just take out a regular piece of gear, it cuts the Russians off from one of their most powerful offensive systems, which can actually turn strongholds into burning craters in mere seconds. So that was a really powerful blast there, and some of the rockets were actually seen firing away with no guidance whatsoever as the entire assembly was engulfed in flames. Of course, these systems have been present in Ukraine before, and some could say it's actually a war criminal's favorite weapon. The Russians would actually fire them sometimes at populated areas, at cities or villages, resulting in complete and utter destruction. Now, moving on to our next story. In the Donetsk area, soldiers from Ukraine's 8th Special Operations Forces Regiment conducted another successful operation, neutralizing a Russian sabotage and reconnaissance group. During the mission, Ukrainian operators detected the movement of Russian forces and intercepted the group when it was trying to advance deeper into Ukraine's defenses. A firefight ensued, during which 1 Russian was killed and 2 others were taken prisoner. The prisoners provided new intelligence, and the operators seized weapons, communications gear and enemy documents at the site of contact.
3, 4, 5.
Це гасіть їх всім, що можна, і дай по часам, на яку годину.
Передають, що в них важкий 300. І, ймовірно, я так предполагаю, що може бути в районі 4 точки.
Давайте гранатами закидаємо.
Иди! Ползи! Ползи! Где второй? Ползи! Ползет? Где автомат? Автомат где? Выбрасывай! Наверх давай! Ползи! Вперед! Ползи! Привет на Украине!
Moving on to the next story. In the Vovchansk area, Russian units have once again faced the stark reality of war. According to available footage and intercepted communications, Ukrainian forces launched a targeted strike on the positions of the Russian Federation's 1009th Motorized Rifle Regiment. Fortifications, which the Russians had been building for weeks, were literally blown to smithereens. One shelter, considered safe by the occupiers, was completely destroyed.
Постун. Все за... Всему... Дай ехать побыстрее подъедет.
Now that was a scene of utter and complete destruction right there. And the Russians clearly know it. But that moment might actually give them something to think about. They went into Ukraine, a peaceful, sovereign country where people were just living their lives. And they went on the offensive, taking away villages, taking away lives, taking away livelihoods. And all that for what? For Vladimir Putin? Who's got like plenty of yachts and palaces and golden toilets, probably. Many of these Russian troops literally don't stand a chance of survival. I mean, check out the number of casualties. The Russian army doesn't have a good KD ratio, that's for sure. Perhaps some of these troops one day will think, okay, if this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing this for Vladimir Putin, and I'm risking my life for that, I'm done. I'm out. Hopefully this realization will come sooner or later. For the time being, unfortunately, we're not seeing much of it. And with this, we're concluding this episode of Military Mind. Please stay with us here on DVP World for more latest news and updates.